Hello, my name is Richard, and welcome to my dungeon. Today we're going to create a party using the Rules Cyclopedia. If you're interested in OG D&D character creation, please come with me in this adventure.
Dungeon Crawlers Level 1.
The Rules Cyclopedia provides a chart with 12 steps, which outline how to create a character. We are going to need to roll for our ability scores first. We're going to roll to get a total of 3 six-sided dice. Then we're going to do this 6 times for the various ability scores. And then lastly, we're going to assign those totals to whichever ability score we choose. This includes strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, and finally charisma. The strength score represents your physical strength. The higher your score makes it easier to hit monsters with hand weapons. And obviously, the stronger your character, the more damage you can do. Strength is very important for fighters. The intelligence ability represents your mental capacity. The higher the intelligence score allows for better communications in languages. Intelligence is extremely important for magic users. Wisdom represents your character's common sense. Higher wisdom scores can even help if a spell is used against you. Wisdom is extremely important for clerics. Dexterity is your character's agility. Higher dexterity makes it harder for your character to be hit in combat. Also, higher dexterity allows for your character to use bows better. Constitution is your character's health. The higher your health score, the more healthy your character is. And because of the higher score, your character will have more hit points. Charisma represents your personality. The higher the score means you are more likable, so you can persuade others more easily. For these ability scores, we will get bonuses and even penalties. If we roll a 9 through 12, there's no bonus or penalty. If we roll a high score, we'll get a bonus. So 13 through 15 is a +1, 16 through 17 is a +2, and if we get 3 6s, so an 18, it would be a +3. So if we roll low, we will get a penalty. If we roll 6 through 8, it's a -1, 4 through 5, it's a -2, and if we roll 1s across the board, so a 3, it would be a -3. We will go over what all of these pluses and minuses mean a little bit later. I just wanted to bring that up before we start rolling. This is my final roll. I was surprised on how low the rolls turned out to be. I do remember rolling 3 6s from time to time, and I would feel like I hit the lottery. Even if the subsequent rolls sucked, I still had that 18 to fall back on. This character had 3 9s, but at least there's no penalties on 9s. With the 114, these stats aren't too bad. I chose a fighter for this character, but let me know in the comments what you would have chosen with these stats. So step 2 is to choose a character class. So here I arrange my ability scores, and then I also chose the character classes. So the elf had my best stats, so I put the strength and the intelligence high at 14, and then the constitution at 13. The dwarf pretty much just had one really good score, and then so I put that as my strength, and then constitution is 13. And then I chose a fighter with a strength of 14. Probably my weakest skills were with the thief, so I put my best skill at 14. Step 2 is to adjust your ability scores. We could adjust strength, intelligence, and wisdom. We could lower those scores by 2 and raise the prime requisite up by 1. And each character class could have a different prime requisite. And you cannot lower a score past 11. So let's say, for example, we were looking at the thief, and it has a strength of 11. We could lower that to 9, and then we could raise our dexterity up by 1, because that is a prime requisite. Yikes, now it's time to roll for hit points. The elf rolls with a 6-sided dice. So here goes. that was a lucky one. Now the dwarf uses an 8-sided dice. Here goes. An 8. Another one. The fighter uses the 8-sided dice as well. 6. Not bad. And now for the thief, which uses a 4-sided dice. And I got a 4. These were really good scores. Now let's roll for the amount of money we start with. Now we roll for gold. So we roll 3 6-sided dice again and multiply by 10. 14. And the last one. Let's go shopping. Let's buy some equipment. So now it's time to get some equipment. So on this table here in chapter 4, it shows you the different weapons. And let's say if we were looking at a sword, there's a short sword and then the normal sword. The short sword does 1 6-sided dice of damage, and then the normal will do an 8-sided dice. And then here it'll tell you the cost. So a normal sword is 10 gold pieces. Now if we needed a bow, we would look up here and it does 1d6 of damage for a short bow, but then you're also given ranges. At short range, you'll get a +1 to hit modifier. At medium range, no modifier. And at long range, you would get a -1. And it also gives you the costs here. So this is my elf character. After going to the store and purchasing my adventure tools, I decided to go with a sword, plate armor, short bow, 20 arrows, and then a dagger, and then some oil. I also have a backpack, torches, ration, some wine, and then a tinderbox. And you'll see the numbers in parentheses. This is the coin weight for each item, and then that brings it to 686, which is about 68 pounds. Now it's time to determine other scores. This includes your armor class and to hit score. Determining armor class is pretty easy. There's just a chart for the type of armor, and then it gives you the armor class. So for instance, if we have plate armor, that's a 3. And then if we have a shield, we subtract 1, so we go to 2. So our armor class would be 2. And then if we get any dex bonuses, we're going to do that on the next step. We could determine savings throws fairly easy. We just look at the character class. For instance, this is a magic user. We're level 1, and then here are the different savings throws. Death Ray versus Poison, Magic Wands, Paralysis, Turn to Stone, Breath Attack, and then Rod, Staff, and Spell. So we'll just write these down. Now we need to figure out the 2 hit rolls or 2 attack numbers. So we look at this fun matrix here, and the MU stands for magic user. This is cleric, thief, and druid, fighter, and then demi-humans, which would be elves and dwarfs. And then this is just for higher level demi-humans. So for right now, and then this one is for normal humans, so that's someone with no fighting training. So let's, for instance, say we're going to look at our fighter. He's first level, and then go all the way to the very end to see what his to hit armor class 0 will be, and that's 19. So we write that down, and then we'll go into what this means later. Now we note other adjustments from your ability scores. I usually do this step earlier, but I'm trying to follow the process as written. So let's go over any adjustments. So we have a 14 strength, so then now it will be +1 to attack and damage. With a 14 intelligence, it's 1 additional language. A wisdom of 7, that's -1 to the savings throws versus spells. With a 13 dex, it's +1 to attack rolls for missile attacks, and then we'll be able to subtract 1 to our AC. So now with an AC of, we had an AC of 2, now it's 1. And then Constitution, it's +1. It's So we're getting 1 extra hit point. So we had a 7 before, and now we had a 6 before, and now it's a 7. So we're going to make all of those adjustments. Let's choose a character alignment. There are 3 choices in alignment. There's lawful, chaotic, and neutral. Alignment is your code of behavior that guides your character's actions. Lawful characters try to tell the truth and obey the laws and keep their promises. Chaotic doesn't follow laws. Selfishness is a way of life. And neutral is a balance between the both. I remember back in the day, I would play as neutral characters because I believed that they had more flexibility. Now we select a name and background for our character and determine height and weight. When selecting a name, you might want to work this out with your dungeon master. This is because he might be working on a special setting that requires specific names. For background and personality, this is something you also might want to work out with your dungeon master. You might want to answer some questions like, does your character come from a city, a village, a small town? You could consult the character height and weight tables to determine your height and weight. Lastly, let's talk about experience. Throughout the adventure, we will gain experience from monsters and treasures. There are experience points bonuses for your ability scores in the character's prime requisite. So if your prime requisite is 13 or 15, you would get the +5 bonus. And then 16 through 18, you get a +10 bonus to all experience points. Thank you for sticking with me for so long. That was a lot of paperwork. I hope you have a better understanding of how character creation works in the Rules Cyclopedia. In later adventures, let's use these characters to do some damage. Thank you for watching. Let me know if there's something you like, and you could also let me know if there's something you didn't. This would really help me improve. Please subscribe and you'll be notified when the next adventure is ready. And I'll see you on the next dungeon crawl.
Dungeon Crawlers Level 1.